So this will be a quick one. So today I was watching Whitney Webb on her Instagram, and she has some stories. She's a great animal lover. That's something that she often makes a fuss of, the horses that she has, and that she also makes a fuss about these deer, these wild deer that come to the edge of her property, and she leaves out food for them and water. And she has two dogs, and they're both adopted, and one of them has a deformed right leg, whom she can't really put on the ground, this particular dog. And she loves, she has a great love, and you would even say respect for animals. And so today, and I've often thought, it would be great if she became vegan, because she has we all have the makings of a vegan within us. Any of us who think animals morally matter, and most of us, 99.9% of us do, unless you're completely without any sort of conscience, you're, say, a serial killer or something like that, a psychopath, and you don't really think any sentient being morally matters. But most people think that animals do morally matter, and we see that all the time. So she obviously does, and she has a great regard for non-human animals. And so this is, when I saw this today, it was interesting on a number of levels, and I'm going to show something that is not particularly, it's of a cooked animal, so it's not a graphic image of animal, somebody torturing animals or whatever, but it's the result of somebody torturing and killing an animal. So it's a cooked animal, the whole animal, and she is attending this, it was obviously some kind of Thanksgiving that was at her place, but it was outdoors, and she had a chef, and this chef was cooking as part of this meal, this small animal, had cooked this small animal. So anyway, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you the reaction of the chef and the reaction of Whitney Webb, and then I'm going to show you something which was another story involving an insect and Whitney Webb. And so for vegans, you may want to look away when it comes to this, and I'll describe what it is about this particular cooked animal. Anyway, it's distressing, of course, I don't know about other vegans, but if I see an animal if I see the corpse of an animal, particularly, like in supermarkets or whatever, I feel sad. I feel sort of partly frustrated. But if I see, say, a whole animal cooked and including the head, and particularly you'll see what I'm going to say soon. I find it, very, very. It's like seeing a cooked child. Basically, it's like, if I see animals being tortured or killed, it's like seeing a child being tortured and killed. So anyway, a human child. So anyway, I'll show you this, and then I want to talk about it.
Making sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Embarrass us all. Oh, a lot of anger there. You okay, Jose? Are you mad?
I am trying to deal with this. Trying to deal with this right now.
Sure.
And he has an issue, and I understand. Yeah.
I also have an issue, and you don't understand, clearly. That was. I'm calling Human Resources. Is there a Human Resources department on this set?
You're coming in Human Resources?
Have vultures circling because of Jose's delicious food. Look at these. Oh my gosh. And he just threw a piece of meat. So now we're about to have a vulture invasion. I want soup. Ugh. You great, Chris.
Garlic bread, pimentón, the Spanish paprika, olive oil.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to do that? Why don't I do that? Mantis?
You're all set.
Yeah. Is that tomato sauce? Yeah. Okay. I just grabbed this.
Stick Mantis is coming with me today. I have a big day today. This guy showed up to give me good luck.
That's right, Whitney.
You coming with me? You coming with me?
On your shoulder.
What do you think my hair is? I want to stay with you, but we got to return you. There you go. Come on. Get up there. Good job. You got it. Come on. Good boy. Go on. Go. You can't be with me forever. Come on. Get up there. Get good boy. Good job. You got it. You got it. There you go. You're there. You're fine. Oh, you're cleaning your leg while I'm holding you? As if I have this kind of time? Okay, you take your bath when you get up there. Get up there. Come on, I'm not your servant. Oh, man. Oh, you are so beautiful. God, I love these guys so much. Yep. You gonna miss me? You gonna miss me?
So as you can see, Whitney Webb, when she saw, I'm sorry, why am I calling her Whitney Webb? I'm sorry, I should call her Whitney Cummings. I'm so used to Whitney Webb, the journalist, sort of seeing her work. I should say Whitney Cummings. So when you see Whitney Cummings looking at this, what the chef holds up, which is the little tiny head of a small pig who is obviously a baby pig, and he for some reason feels this necessity to kind of shock Whitney Webb by shaking this small baby pig's head in the frame of her video. And you could tell that she wasn't really very pleased about that, but obviously this chef is at an event that she organized. And then, of course, after he does that, then she sort of praises the food, which contained the flesh of that particular baby pig, and everybody was enjoying it, including she. She was enjoying it, Whitney Cummings. And then you see the next story, which was her with a little praying mantis, and she loves insects. She's not afraid of insects, and she loves praying mantis. And she was very, very careful to put the praying mantis onto the branch. And I'm very. It's nice to see people caring about insects, because they're part of we're all earthlings together, and people say insects are not sentient, but I would say that they most definitely are. And it's it's almost impossible not to accidentally harm insects, but we should all do our best to try and avoid harming them. So anyway, she looks at this particular praying mantis with great regard. So I'm going to say something about the chef, whom I think actually had his own sort of difficulties with this small pig, and was overcompensating for the fact that he had his own sort of conscience pricking, basically, of cooking this small pig, the whole pig, and then serving it up. So he therefore then thought it was a good idea and kind of a bit of a sort of a macho thing to do, to shake, the small pig's head in front of the camera, and while Whitney Webb was doing her little story for Instagram, knowing probably full well that Whitney Webb very much loves animals. So, and you could see she wasn't very pleased with that, but she had to kind of gloss over it because she was doing a story, and also because she invited him to cook for them, and she probably knew that he was going to cook animals. So, she's as responsible really for this little pig being there, and she's not vegan, but she should be, because, like I say, everybody has that inside them. Some have got it blossoming more than others at a time, and everybody at some point, most people have this sort of vegan intention in them. It just doesn't really come out until some sooner than others. So anyway, I feel like the chef, despite the fact that he was cooking this pig and everything, was actually having his own kind of cognitive dissonance about it, and overcompensated by trying to, kind of scare Whitney Webb. And Whitney Webb had her own cognitive dissonance at the time, but she put that to one side, which is what a lot of people do these days, when they just block it out so they can consume the flesh and secretions and whatever in the ova of different animals. People try to put it out of their heads so they can continue on, and they usually don't want to hear about what happened to that animal. They don't want to think about what happened to that animal. And these little bloodless packages that we see in the supermarket, people don't have to think about that. And then the corporations, who are simply meeting demand for animal products, they're not creating the demand, we're creating the demand. These corporations try and make us believe that there's such things as happy animals on these farms, these so-called free-range, organic, etc., which are really just, there's still torture and killing when these animals they're not productive anymore for these industries. They still have their children taken away from them. They still are mutilated, often without anesthetic. And there's still oftentimes even these free-range, which are just industrialized farms, they can't find their way out to outside. There's a lot of dying animals in these large industrial free-range farms, and in the end, when these animals are spent, these hens, etc., or they're either dumped in, sort of dumpsters to die, or if they're sick, or they're taken away to be slaughtered. And that's another horror story that I won't go into here. But you can read, I'll leave a link to What's Wrong with Vegetarianism, and you can read that. And that's what happens to free-range and organic, free-range hens and organic cows. And the dairy industry is another horror story. So when I saw Whitney Webb, who when I've seen Whitney Cummings, I'm going to keep calling her Whitney Webb, I don't know why. When I saw Whitney Cummings, who loves animals, she says she loves animals, and she does. She still hasn't awoken to the fact, or I don't know if she's too lazy, or she thinks it's inconvenient, or whatever it is, but she still hasn't woken up to the fact that this little pig had just as much love for life, had just as much sentience as the dogs whom she loves, as the horses whom she loves, as a little praying mantis. All those animals this little pig who died for this one event and was tortured and killed for this one event, because doesn't matter if that little pig was from a free range, in quotes, farm, or was from an industrialized farm, they were separated from their mother. They had procedures done on them without anesthetic. They were killed in a horrific way. She doesn't want to think about that. We don't want to think about that if we continue to eat animal products. We like to not know, and we don't like to think about it. Now, why is that? Because we know these animals love life just like we do and do not want to die. We know that they are sentient. We've seen documentaries. We've been to probably some of us have been to those little hobby farms, or we've sort of come across an animal in a paddock. We know that they have sentience. And so for us to continue to have them killed by literally the hundreds of billions every year and being brought up in these awful ways with all the things that I've just mentioned, we have to put that aside, put it out of our mind, just like Whitney Webb was suffering moral compartmentalization when she was, sort of shocked when that chef did that to her, but then continued on to eat those products in a soup. So this is the only way that we can do this. And as I've said many times before, we don't need animal products at all to survive. We can easily meet all our nutrition requirements from plants and other non-animal sources. So the only reason all this violence, all the sadness of taking these lives one after another in these horrific slaughterhouses, being brought up on these farms, being separated from their mothers and all of that, the only way we can excuse all of this and continue on eating these animal products is that we think our palate pleasure is more important than the lives of these animals. And yet, plant-based diet is incredibly nutritious and incredibly yummy. You can have all kinds of cuisines, all kinds of ethnic dishes. It's one of the best decisions I've made in my life. The only regret I have is that I didn't do it sooner. And the planet is actually evolving. Other people on the planet now, veganism is not a fringe philosophy. It's also not a diet, and it's not a green thing. It's not about the environment or diet, even though that's two things or health rather. It's not about the environment or health, although that's the ancillary benefits of being vegan, but it's actually about the ethical reasons why we don't want to use sentient animals as things, as resources, as property. Because sentient beings, just like we aren't property, sentient animals, non-human sentient animals are not our property. They're just fellow earthlings who have the misfortune of being born on a planet, another species to us, and we've decided, might makes right, we've decided that we're basically human supremacists, and we've decided we're going to dominate and torture and kill and drive into extinction animals because we're the most important creature on the planet. We're the most important sentient being on the planet, the most important sentient species. Well, that's a nonsense. Species is irrelevant as to whether non-human animals deserve the right not to be used as property. Since we don't need these animal products at all to survive, then that little pig died just so that people could sit around for a few minutes and say, wasn't that yummy? When that little pig, probably the day before or even that morning, was running around enjoying life, had only been on the planet, a few months. And here they are now. He's been murdered for just that one lunch. And so many billions of little animals just like that, taken from their mothers, being tortured and killed for these trivial reasons. I mean, it's just the insanity. Every time I drive past cows in the field, I think these beautiful and sort of sweet sentient beings are they're being raised there and grown up so that then we can kill them and slice them up. I mean, it's insane. The longer one is vegan, the more insane it becomes. And if I was a sort of if I was a sentient being from another planet and saw what we were doing on this planet, I would be turning around and getting away from here as quickly as possible, because it's an insanity what we're doing to these sentient animals. So it's important that we consider becoming vegan for nonviolence, to have it's a first step to a nonviolent life, for justice, for the planet, because the use of animals is destroying is a cause of the sixth mass extinction. It's also tremendous. Animal agriculture is a tremendous devastating effect in the climate crisis. And I'll show you those memes that I usually show about this. And also, it's destroying the Amazon rainforest. 5.2 acres every minute are cleared for cows to graze and for soy to feed animals in feedlots all around the world. That's what's happening to the Amazon rainforest. That's the lungs of the planet. That's just one little snippet of the tremendous devastation that animal agriculture is doing to the planet. And watch Seaspiracy and Cowspiracy to find out more. And also, it's destroying our health, because these animal products don't belong in our body. So Whitney Cummings is basically, I feel like it wouldn't take much to push her in the direction of becoming vegan. I really feel like it's just a matter of time before she realizes what she's doing. And that is something that I'm hoping that anybody who's watching this, if you're not vegan yet, that you will consider becoming vegan. Just think about these animals. When you see these bloodless packages on the supermarket shelf, think about that actual animal. And since we don't need these animal products at all to survive, these actual animals, these hundreds and hundreds of billions, 1 to 3 trillion every year are tortured and killed, aquatic animals and land animals for us. Just think about all these lives every second of the day, thousands being killed all over the world for this completely unnecessary reason. So please go vegan. Check out howtogovegan.org. That's my vegan resource in podcast form. Thanks so much for watching. Go vegan. If you need any assistance in going vegan, please contact me. And I'm happy to answer any good faith questions. So thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye for now.